Of course, the answer is no, they cannot. How those myths come about is just like any other myth, told around a campfire while drinking. Your grandpappy, your uncle, or whoever likes to tell these stories because it's more, life's more exciting that way. But in fact, what really happens is animals like lions, tigers, bears, mountain lions, bobcats go for the very vulnerable, soft underbelly of the porcupine. So this is where the quills come in. They're built strictly for defense. And the skin on a porcupine is as thin as tissue paper, and those quills come out really easy. The quills don't have barbs on them, but the tips are very rough, especially on the North American porcupine. The African crested porcupine quills are smoother than the North American porcupines. They're more like a sword or blade, and they come out fairly easy. There are notable differences in the sizes of the two species, as you can see. African crested porcupine quills can be over a foot long, and the North American porcupine quills are approximately 3 to 4 inches long. Here's an example of the gripping strength of the different quills. And I use the medium of a sponge instead of sticking somebody with the quill because it may go a little better. You can see where the North American quill is tough to pull out versus the African crested porcupine. So when a predator comes up to a porcupine and tries to grab him, he'll either get stuck by the quills or the porcupine will flare out the quills and then run backwards into the predator, thus impaling him in the mouth, neck, or other areas. Quills don't have venom or poison in them. However, it is still dangerous to the animal because of the bacteria that it could have on them. Porcupines may give a warning sign by shaking their tail, letting the predator know it better not mess with them. But they don't do this all the time. But it's definitely a deterrent. With African crested porcupines and Indian crested porcupines, they go a step further. They actually have hollow quills called rattle quills. And the ends are open, and they're just like a tube. And when they shake their tail, it makes a loud rattle, like a giant rattlesnake. So that's even more of a warning to tell predators, back off or you're going to get it. The quills used for defense, they're often called rammer quills. They actually look like styrofoam on the inside, and they assist the porcupines when they're crossing a body of water, assist them to float across, thus conserving more energy. So they function as a life preserver, actually.